and welcome to the last of my sessions on the names of God. I hope you've enjoyed the sessions as much as I've enjoyed studying them, and I hope that it has given you an insight into the different aspects of God's character based on what his name is. And the last name that I'm going to look at today is called Jehovah Shalom. Jehovah Shalom. And I actually love that I'm finishing on this name because it means the Lord is peace. And what a better name to come to the end of the week of camp on than to hear that the Lord is peace. And Jehovah Shalom is first found in Judges chapter 6. It's in the story of Gideon. And Gideon is the youngest brother in the weakest family of the weakest clan of the weakest tribe. So he is the very bottom of the pile, so to speak. And Gideon is out in the winepress and he's sorting out the fruit, and the angel of the Lord appears to him. Now, the book of Judges is all about a cycle, and it's where the Israelites disobey. God judges them. God sends a judge. God redeems them, and they disobey again. It's this whole cycle, continual cycle of God bringing judges to people to help them out of the judgment that they're under from God. And it's in this area of judgment that the Israelites are currently under that Gideon appears. And God comes to him and says, "O mighty man of valor, I have chosen you to be the next judge of Israel." And I'm paraphrasing there, but Gideon laughs at him and he says, "I can't be the next judge of Israel. Prove to me that you're God and I will go and do all that you ask of me." And so God proves to Gideon that it is him talking to him. And Gideon then builds an altar and calls the altar Jehovah Shalom. The Lord is peace. And that's where we first see the name, and the only time that we really see the name Jehovah Shalom. However, we read about God's peace throughout the entire Bible, and it's a characteristic of God that we see over and over and over again throughout the Bible. And the first thing that I want you to know before we go any further is that peace is not the absence of something else in your life. For instance, peace is not the absence of fear in your life. And we can see this by Judges 6. So Gideon has just built an altar. He's called it the Lord is peace, Jehovah Shalom. He sees that God is peace. He knows God's peace in his life. And yet 3 verses later it says, but because he was afraid, he went and did it by nighttime. There was still fear there, even though Gideon knew that the Lord is peace. There can still be difficult circumstances in your world, and you can still know Jehovah Shalom, the Lord is peace. There can still be circumstances that confuse you in your world, and you can still know the Lord is peace, Jehovah Shalom. There can still be things that go on in your world that you do not want to happen, that you maybe don't get into the uni you want to get into, and you can still know Jehovah Shalom. Peace is not the absence of something in your world. Peace is the knowledge that God is constant in your world, no matter what it is you're facing. Peace is the understanding of the presence of God in your world, no matter what it is you're facing. Peace is not the absence of something. Peace is the addition of the knowledge that God is constant and consistent and never ending, no matter what it is that you are facing. And I want to make that clear from the start, because so many people think, if I got rid of this, I would have peace. If I got rid of that, I would have peace. If I just got into my uni, I would have peace. If I didn't have the parents I have, if I didn't have the siblings I had, if I didn't live in the house I live in, I would have peace. And peace is not the absence. Peace is the addition of knowing God in your world. And the first way that we see peace in the Bible, that we can get peace in the Bible, is found in Romans. Romans chapter 5 verse 1. And it says that by being justified with God, we can have peace with God. What does justified mean? Justified means that you go to God and you tell him that you know you've done wrong in your life. That you tell him that you know you've made mistakes in your world. You tell him that you know that there is something more for you in this world than what you are currently searching for. And you tell him that you are going to follow him with your whole life. And it's just as if you had never sinned. And whenever you come to that point in your world, whenever you come to that place of standing before God, that it's just as if you had never sinned, because you've apologized for your sin, you've turned away from what you've been doing, and you're committing to follow God with all your life. When you come to that point, you have found peace with God. Peace up and down, peace up and down. That you know that you and God are in a good relationship. You know you and God are in a good standing. You know that you and God are in a justified relationship. And you can know that peace, that Jehovah Shalom peace. Firstly, that's how you find peace for the first time. You have to come into a relationship with God. You cannot find peace outside of God. The peace that we are talking about today, you cannot find it outside of God, because the Lord is peace. Jehovah Shalom. The Lord is this peace. So to find that peace, you have to be right with God. You have to have turned your back on everything that is going against God and commit to following him. And as soon as you do that, you will find that peace that you have been looking in every other place for. We can have peace with God first of all, and you need to have that first of all in order to find this Jehovah Shalom style peace that we are talking about. However, there's more. God doesn't just tell us that we have to have peace with God. God actually tells us that we can have peace in ourselves and in the middle of all of our circumstances, because the Lord is peace. We read in Isaiah 32 and verse 17, and it says, "The effect of righteousness will be peace." See, as soon as we come into a right standing with God, as soon as we get that relationship sorted with God, we as Christians then have the legal right, have the legal opportunity as children of God to have peace. The effect of righteousness will be peace. It is right there for you to have. That means no matter what you are walking through right now or will walk through in the future, you have the legal right to peace in all circumstances. It doesn't matter what you face, good, bad, upside down, negative, no matter what it is you're facing. You have the legal right to peace in every situation. How do you get it? How do you activate this peace? Because if you have the legal right to something, you need to know how to activate it. You need to know how exactly to get it working in your world. We can find this in Psalm 37. And Psalm 37 tells us that we have to trust, we have to commit, and we have to rest. We have to trust, we have to commit, and we have to rest. So, Psalm 37 verse 5, commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will act. So, we have to trust God enough in our world that we can commit things to him. You have to completely know that God is consistent no matter what. That means that his promises are exactly the same no matter what you're facing. And once you trust him in that respect, once you get that mindset that God will never change no matter what it is that you're going through, you will find it so much easier to give things over to him and to say, God, I can't carry this myself. You have to help me with it. God, I can't carry this pain. You have to carry it for me. God, I can't carry this hopelessness. You have to carry it for me. God, I can't carry this uncertainty. You have to carry it for me. And I know that you can, because you never change. And you have told me that if I commit my way to you and trust you with it, he will act. Then we rest. Because when we hand everything over to God, when we hand everything that we are uncertain about and scared about and worried about and anxious about and everything that is just keeping us awake at night, if we hand all of that over to God and we pray and we say, I'm giving it to you, and even write it down physically and leave it down somewhere and say, I'm giving that over to you, God. This is for you to carry because you are much bigger than me. You stay consistent and your promises say that you will help me through everything I face. Then all we are left with is peace. The peace of God. Peace with God comes when you become a Christian. When you fully commit to God and hand everything over to Him, then you are left with the peace of God that the Bible talks about passes all understanding. You see, we're human and we can only carry so much. And you have the choice whether you carry your anxious thoughts and your painful thoughts and your worried thoughts, or you carry your peace of God that you have the legal right to. One of them has to go. You cannot carry both at the same time. I much prefer to give all this bundle over here to God to carry because He's much bigger, He's much stronger, much more able than I am. And I get the peace. How amazing is Jehovah Shalom? That He takes everything else on His shoulders for us and leaves us with the peace of God that passes all understanding. It's an amazing, amazing thought. You are the one in charge of the peace of God in your world. You can give it away to other people, you can give it away to anxious thoughts, or you can decide, I am going to trust Jehovah Shalom. I am going to claim that peace for myself, and I am going to take it into my world. I am going to have peace with God, and I'm going to have the peace of God in every circumstance that you face. Bring Jehovah Shalom into your world, and no matter what circumstances you face, no matter what goes on in your world, you have the legal right to Jehovah Shalom peace, the peace that passes understanding, if you commit your ways to Him and rest in Jehovah Shalom.